This is 5 on your side at noon. Focused on you.
And we begin today at noon in Storm Alert as we prepare for late evening storms. Here's a live look at the Kirkwood Farmers Market. We're also expecting near record heat today. Thanks for being here at noon. I'm Kay Quinn. Let's get right to meteorologist Jim Castillo. He's here with the Weather First forecast. Jim, tornadoes are possible when this line of storms moves through?
You know, we can't rule that out, Kay, so those spin up are weaker tornadoes. Now, the better risk of tornadoes is to our north in northern Missouri and into Iowa, and even some strong tornadoes possible there. For us, it is a line of storms. And our most likely risk of severe weather will be from straight line winds, but within those lines, sometimes you get rotation. We've seen that in several instances over the past month here, so we'll be watching that as we get into this evening. Can't even rule out hail also. Right now, the Weather First weather radar looks clear, which is great. It's a really hot day. It's getting breezy out there, and of course, it's extremely humid. So the timing, let's check that out. Severe storms in the metro after 8 o'clock and more, maybe even 9. But in our western counties, we will definitely be watching that 7 o'clock hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust or higher, hail is a secondary risk, and then that spin-up tornado really can't be ruled out. So let's check this out on the Futurecast. Here's 7 p.m., just one of the models we look at. Watch as I put it into motion. Some of those individual cells look like they could be really strong. Here's 8 o'clock, and as we head into the 9:30 hour, right through the metro, it does clear the area at about, I'd say, 2:30 a.m. So much more on this and the forecast for tomorrow, which includes a chance of severe weather in some spots. All that coming up.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Jim. You can get the latest Weather First forecast on air on the 5 on Your Side app and on KSDK.com, or just text the word weather to 314-425-5355. Happening right now, a hearing is being held to determine whether a convicted killer should go free. Prosecutors are convinced Christopher Dunn is innocent, but the Missouri Attorney General's office is presenting an argument for keeping him in prison. Dunn is 52 years old, serving a life sentence for the 1990 shooting death of Rico Rogers. St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore says the case relies heavily on the testimony of two witnesses, a 12-year-old boy and a 14-year-old boy. Both later recanted their statements. Gore also says there's no physical evidence that links Dunn to the crime. Funeral services will be held this weekend for a teenager killed during a home invasion. It happened last Thursday. Police found 18-year-old Caden Topol in the parking lot of an apartment building on Thompson Street in Wood River. They say someone had broken into his apartment before shooting him. As of right now, no one has been arrested. We have an update on that shooting that left 2 injured during a graduation ceremony in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. A 20-year-old man is charged with assault and armed criminal action. According to court documents, he got into an argument with 2 men at a concession stand inside the Show Me Center Sunday. He then pulled a gun from his waistband, and the gun went off when the victim tried to grab it. That ceremony has been postponed. 3 Missouri lawmakers are on their own if they lose defamation lawsuits filed against them. 3 Republican senators are being sued for accusing a man of being one of the Kansas City Chiefs parade shooters and an immigrant in the country illegally. Governor Mike Parson says the state will not help them pay damage awards if they lose, but Missouri's Attorney General will continue to represent the lawmakers. Denton Loudermill filed the federal lawsuits, claiming he suffered humiliation, embarrassment, insult, and inconvenience over those posts. Right now, the city of St. Louis meeting with the union that represents city trash collectors. This all comes on the second day of an apparent sick out. The city says 13 refuse workers called out today, 18 called out yesterday. The city is calling it an unauthorized work stoppage and claims the union didn't know the stoppage was even happening. As of right now, the city doesn't know any specific demands. City officials say leave your trash on the curb until it's picked up. A small town in the Metro East will no longer have its own ambulance service. The mayor of New Athens says the program just costs too much money. 5 on Your Side's Megan Kernan explains what's next.
Signs that say EMTs needed are in front of the New Athens, Illinois ambulance headquarters. Although that won't be the case anymore, as the town service is officially ending June 2nd.
I'm very sad about it. to see it have to go, it kind of hurts.
The ambulance service in New Athens started as volunteer work only. Arlene Geppert was one of the very first volunteer EMTs. She's worried about response times now that MedStar is going to take over.
Because when we were 16 people, we mostly all lived in town here, and we were there within 3 to 4 minutes when our pagers went off. So, I mean, it's going to be the response time. We're out here in the middle of nowhere.
Mayor Joe Benkin says there was a decrease in demand for the ambulance service and a shortage for EMT workers.
What the village board done was they decided to increase the standby wages from $13.67 an hour to $20 an hour.
When the board increased wages to attract sufficient staffing is when the mayor says the village started losing money. Since September of this year, the New Athens ambulance service has lost more than $180,000.
A village twice our size couldn't afford that type, couldn't sustain or afford that type of loss. If the ambulance service continues, it will bankrupt this village.
Reporting in New Athens, Megan Kernan, 5 on your side.
The mayor of New Athens is asking the state to step in and help other small towns. We reached out to state officials to see if there are options there, but we have not yet heard back. Still ahead, the jury in Donald Trump's corruption trial closer to taking the case. What's next now that the defense has rested? And a reporter in the middle of an interview has to adjust after a car crash leads to a new story. And before we go to break, we want to remind you the Folds of Honor campaign, sponsored by Schnucks, is underway. You have through May 28th to round up at the register at all area Schnucks locations. Money raised goes towards scholarships for spouses and children of fallen and wounded service members and first responders. Live on Your Side is a proud partner of the Folds of Honor campaign.
Goodcars.com. That's goodcars.com.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment, so all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Hip, knee, or back pain? See if Arch Supports can help you at the Good Feet store.
Have you ever heard the saying, too much of a good thing?
I have, but it obviously doesn't apply to syrup.
Well, this month at Glendale, we have way too much of a good thing.
Like inventory. So we're having the Memorial Day sales event, Inventory Blowout.
We're blowing out Grand Cherokee 4xE, only $249 per month.
We're blowing out Dodge Hornets, only $139 per month.
And we're blowing out new Jeep Compass, just $99 per month.
Now that's a blowout.
Mom's gonna kill you.
Glendale Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, just a mile east of Lindbergh on Manchester, and goodcars.com.
This month, you can score too.
Safe.
With a steal of a deal at Suntrup in South County. No matter where else you've struck out on getting the price or payment you want, come to Suntrup Kia, Hyundai, Genesis, Nissan, or Volkswagen. We're rallying to outsell all other dealers and doing whatever it takes to get it done. Get in gear and score a steal of a deal at Suntrup.
Save more at Suntrup, suntrup.com.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. We've negotiated over $5 billion in settlements. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. We've won millions for victims of truck accidents, drunk driving crashes, and workers' compensation. When St. Louisans need help, they call the hometown attorneys, Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Call today for a free review, 314 or 618-9000000. That's 314 or 618-9000000.
Developing today, Donald Trump's lawyers have rested their defense. The former president did not take the witness stand. The judge sent the jury home until May 28th. That's when closing arguments are expected. Trump did not stop to speak as he left the courthouse and ignored a question about why he didn't testify. Prosecutors accused Trump of a scheme to bury negative stories about him during the 2016 presidential campaign. Trump denies any wrongdoing. Severe turbulence turns deadly in the skies. A person died and 30 others were injured aboard a Singapore Airlines flight from London to Singapore. Singapore after the plane hit stormy weather overnight. 211 passengers were on board the Boeing 777 when it diverted to Bangkok. There are reports the flight suddenly dropped altitude, launching passengers into the storage cabins above the seats. Police in Milwaukee are investigating a hit and run caught on video by a news crew. Check this out. The car slammed into a minivan while the reporter was interviewing a neighbor about a different story. The driver of the car got out and ran away. The passenger is in custody. Police confirm that car had been stolen. If you're traveling this holiday weekend, be prepared to deal with traffic. What you can do to make your trip a little easier, next at noon.
And Kay, we're in storm alert, and look at all the colors on here. Where it's red, this level 4 out of 5, the better are the higher risk of severe weather right up there in northern Missouri and into Iowa. We have a risk here. We'll talk about it coming up.